And it says we're going live. Now it says we're alive. Bill Apter and Mac and me, Mac Davis, welcome back to the Apter chat and road trip. It's great to have you back again.
It's good to be here. We were gone last week, and I got to be honest with you, Bill. That may have been for the best with AEW for me last week.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. I hope everybody here had a happy Thanksgiving. And because it's so cold down in the regular section of Apter's Alley, we've moved to the middle point of Apter's Alley, and we're in another area here and lots of other memorabilia. I want to make a comment before we start here. And several people, about 2 or 3 minutes before we went on the air here, and I'm flattered that people want to talk about something, but like Rafael Ramos, hey, Mr. Bill, I agree with you on your theory about the Chris Benoit murder tragedy. I want to start this program off with saying that several years ago, I gave my word to someone in the Benoit family that I would not talk about anything to do with his passing ever again on anything I did. It won't happen. So if you read my book, you will you'll see what I said. But if you listen to Chris Jericho's podcast when I was a guest several years ago, that's what they're talking about. So I do appreciate everybody chiming in here, but it's just something that I won't talk about. And I usually talk about everything. So, well, tonight, I thought, and I have some stuff that I want to show. So I'm going to be going kind of back and forth. Hey, Matt, can you see us live here?
Yes, I can.
You can. How's our quality up in this part of Apter's Alley?
The lights are okay, but quality as far as sound and everything's pretty good to me.
Well, wait, I can fix the lights. How's that? Good evening.
Well, if you turn them off, it'd probably be best. Yeah.
Good evening. I am the Apter Fiend. Oh wow! You know what? I could do the entire broadcast. I don't know if I have a Fiend type of mask here. I've got all kinds of.
I'm glad you brought up the Fiend while you're kind of looking around.
Go ahead. Talk about the Fiend while I'm looking around. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I was going to comment on the new title belts that the Fiend is carrying around right now.
Oh, I know. Well, go ahead. Tell us about what your feelings on the Fiend belt, and let's hear. I'm going to sneeze. Hold on a minute. I told you it's cold here, but. Go ahead. Let's hear your feeling on the Fiend belt.
Well, it's not necessarily the Fiend belt itself. It's just any specialty belts that are being made for different champions. Maybe I'm old school, but I believe that the belt presents history and legacy. And I think NWA even proved that over the last couple of years that belt signifies and really is the calling card of that wrestling organization. Always has been because
of the National Wrestling Alliance, right?
Yeah, it's always looked, basically the same.
Well, in the NWA was always one of the more serious-based wrestling federations, one of the more historical wrestling federations. And when I saw you post earlier this week about your distaste for the belt of the Fiend, when I saw what they were doing with that belt, they've gone so far over the edge in terms of sports entertainment. I actually liked the belt. I don't want to pay $6,500 for one of those. So if anybody out there has got it cheaper.
Yeah, no, I think that the belt really, I think it's good piece that he can wear to the ring. But I want to see, to be honest with you, I'd love to see Joey Eagle Belt come back, bring back the true history of the WWE and that particular organization, and let that belt speak for itself years to come.
That's true. By the way, Scourge is saying Apter's got TNT doing his sound production over there. I think our sound is fine tonight. Everybody else is hearing it fine, but there are a lot of people were complaining about it. So while we're talking about AEW and the sound issues, and Matt, good point on the belt. Tradition rocks, but I don't know. I kind of like this one. But it's good we can talk about it. But the sound, just joking with me. All right. So you want to complain about my sound? Let me tell you something. And that's what I think about it. But no, a lot of people, our buddy Nick Hausman from Wrestling Inc., he was tweeting all night that he had problems. And from week one almost, I'm having trouble hearing Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone. It's not that you can't hear them over the crowd. The issue is that the volume on their mics are just too low.
It's.
I'm still looking for the mask, but
addressed a certain part of
Mac, hang on 1 minute. I'm still, while you're talking, I'm still looking for this gimmick mask that I saw in this room last week. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that Cody had made mention of that same problem. I'm sorry, I got a delay all of a sudden bouncing back at me, Bill. Boy, now I'm lost. Wait.
No, you're talking about the sound production. That was what we were discussing.
Yeah, the sound production. I remember Cody was trying to figure out how to balance the theme music of the wrestlers as they came out with the audience and the announcers. I don't know if they're still playing with that or not. Personally, after this many weeks of audio trouble, you don't want to test your audio during a live show like they did the first 5 minutes of the show tonight.
No, absolutely not.
If I'm somebody with TNT or with AEW, somebody's head needs to roll. It's taking too long for this problem to get fixed.
Yeah, it really is. It really is, because it's
to be honest with you, Bill, that sound issue took me out of the program. They had a hell of a match to start the show.
We say that again, Matt? We lost you. Dropped out there. We dropped out there. Hang on, Mac. We're on live here. Are you there, Mac? I think we may have lost him here. Let me call him back. So we're talking about our sound issues here, and of course, we get the sound issue here. Mac is in a rural town in Georgia. And
I'm back here.
yeah, we don't know what. Well, I had an incoming call out. So the sound issues by this point should have been fixed. Now you were talking about the first match on AEW tonight. I have to tell you that I was channel turning back and forth, which is what channel turning is, of course. And the energy level put forth by NXT tonight and the fans there, I thought they had the edge tonight. I really did.
Well, I believe when.
Mac, are you there? I think we lost him again. I don't know why we're losing him. We're fine on this end. Let's try and get him back again. One more time. The people that are running the AEW sound, obviously, are running us tonight as well. So you guys were right.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's not this end. I'm right next to my router, and everything's fine here.
Wow. Okay. Well, I don't know where we left off, but move on to the next thing, I guess.
Well, the next thing is I was so psyched. And I think, and by the way, fans, I will get to your comments and questions in the next few minutes. Every one of them, I promise. We were supposed to have Greg Oliver on tonight to discuss his new Heroes and Legends book, but he will be here next week instead. But anyway, it was so great to see Mauro Ranallo back on NXT tonight. I missed his presence. I missed his voice. He's a part of that NXT family, and he's so well associated with it. But I'm glad he's back. And just at the beginning of NXT, the energy was amazing. And I found that on AEW tonight, that, for example, during the Trent Beretta and Ray Phoenix match, the crowd was very quiet. Did you notice that?
Very much. But again, I think that sound could have been an issue. I had a hard time hearing the fans after about the first 5 minutes or so.
No, don't get me wrong. Program. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you couldn't hear the fans. I could hear the fans. It's just that the match didn't feel like it connected with the fans, that particular match.
Oh, no, I totally agree with that, yes.
You do? Okay. All right. Yeah, yes. It was just very quiet there. On NXT, the Undisputed Era, now that they won the Survivor Series, has amped them up so much. And every time I see Adam Cole right now, I think of young Shawn Michaels. Do you see that as well?
I do. I see that quite a bit. And, I look at people like Adam Cole, and I always wonder, what does Vince think of Adam Cole? Because he's a big guy. He likes the big guy wrestlers.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's tremendous. We have to talk about Cody Rhodes. He has got to be perhaps one of the premier promo person in years. I mean, everything he does. First of all, when he comes out and the fans are going crazy, I just feel again that Dusty is inside of him there. He's kind of morphed into Dusty. And his interview, like with Tony Schiavone, was like every other interview he's done on AEW. So passionate, right, Mac?
He is. He's more of that rah-rah cheerleader kind of promo guy, whereas Chris Jericho is the kind of the funny and the in-your-face guy. And it's a great combination of those two talents.
Yes, yes. Now, one thing that AEW, and I'm a big, I'm a big fan of AEW. I'm a big fan of NXT. One thing they've been doing the past 2 weeks or so is they've been having a lot more non-wrestling segments, which is something I thought they weren't going to do. I thought it was going to be mainly wrestling, like the thing they did last week with Jericho with the celebration, and this week with him with the thing with Jungle Boy. It just seems that they're doing a lot more interviews and skits than they've been doing the first few weeks.
They're also starting to give us backgrounds, though, on people like the Dark Order, where we're starting to learn more about who they are. And that was a complaint of mine from the beginning, was that we didn't know who they were. And now they're starting to tell us a little bit of a story. It's kind of becoming interesting, to be honest.
Yes, yes. Also, the Cassius Ohno came back to NXT, and we all knew him as Chris Hero. And he took on Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle pinned him. Awesome Kong and Brandy, the Nightmare Collection. What do you think?
All right. We did not discuss this before you asked that question.
We did not.
And I'm going to give you an honest answer. I wrote this down. Ooh. And I simply wrote, it didn't do anything for me. I'm not buying it so far.
I mean, Brandy looked incredible, of course. And so did Awesome Kong.
I'm not going to say she didn't look good. But
and so did Awesome Kong. Again, I will get to all your comments very shortly. But yeah, that just didn't get you, huh?
No, it felt kind of flat for me.
Okay. Dakota Kai, that new heel of Dakota Kai on NXT, I really like that. And Rhea Ripley, I really enjoy watching them so much. I think Shayna Baszler, by the way, the champion of NXT, is absolutely incredible. And I'm going to go on record again as saying that Moxley, in his match with Janela, Moxley to me is the AEW version of Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's got that whole that whole Austin thing going, which is something not a lot of people can do. I'm not saying he's imitating or ripping off Stone Cold at all. It's his own character, but he's just incredible when he does that.
Moxley to me tonight is also really helping along Joey Janela.
Yes.
Joey looked fantastic in this match, and a lot of it had to do with Moxley helping him through that match. But together, I thought it was very well done. I've also noticed that Janela is in the gym. He's starting to cut down, and he's lost a little bit of weight, starting to get a little bit of shape to the body.
Yeah, definitely looked better. What do you think about, they had Luchasaurus, and I loved his interview, and your buddy Marco, and Jungle Boy. Yeah, and Jungle Boy wanting the shot at Chris Jericho. Do you think Jungle Boy got over really well? Do you think that's something that people are going to want to see, that particular match?
I thought it was kind of strange that came up. I believe Jungle Boy, is probably going to be one of their stars eventually. But I'm not sure that's who Chris needed to deal with personally, and I think you feel the same way. I wanted to hear Luchasaurus.
That's what I wanted to see. I definitely wanted to see that. We had Nyla Rose versus Leva Bates, and Librarian interfered. She did a double choke slam. She won by pin. Jenna came in. She got killed. And then Nyla Rose put the referee through a table. This is very impressive. And then slammed Jenna on top of the referee. There was the match, the move of the night was her putting the referee through the table, in my opinion. Did you see that?
I believe that was one of the moments, I think, tonight that probably is going to stick with most people after seeing the show.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So let's get to some of your questions out there. And again, I'm not going to talk about anything to do with Chris Benoit. Uncle Billy B. Baby.
Can we talk real quickly? I'm sorry, I was going to say, can we talk real quickly about last week's show? I want to point something out.
Well, which show are we talking about? AEW?
This week, AEW show last week. I told you that I thought the show felt rushed, unplanned. I thought it was probably one of the worst shows that they have put on since they've been on the air. I was happy to see this week that it felt like it was better produced. I don't know what it was about last week, but last week, even the numbers that came in the ratings kind of showed that, the product suffering last week. And it was noticeable. And I actually had to force myself to finish watching this show live. And that has not happened since they first came, to life.
Yeah. Wow. No,
but this week, much better.
Well, I'm glad you said that. So if from 1 to 10, with 1 being the best, what ranking do you give AEW this week?
7.
Actually, I'm sorry. Yes, with 1 being the best, so you give it a 7. Okay.
Oh, with 1 being the best. Okay. Yeah. With 1 being the best.
Yeah. I turned it around. Wait a minute. I turned it around on you. So yes, with 10 being the best, you give it a 7. Okay, on a 1 to 10 level. I would agree with you. I give NXT an 8 or a 9 this week. I'm a I've become a big fan of Keith Lee. Have you seen him, Mac?
I have not, and this is on my list actually to do while I'm out of town next week.
One of the he's one of the best competitors in AEW, and I think if they brought him up to the main roster, and I hope they don't, because he needs to be one of the people that should stay in NXT because he's like the flag bearer there. He is so powerful. He is so charismatic, and for a guy his size to be able to do the moves that he does, he is just freaking amazing. He really is. I would give NXT a 9 this week, and I think NXT is going to come out ahead again this week. I think they found a formula that's since the Survivor Series, since that whole thing happened where NXT had to come in and save SmackDown. I think it's given them a brand new life. I really do.
I'd like to see that competition really pick up like it's doing now with really getting head-to-head, because if we're going to see the best of both companies, by that being the case, so in reality, the wrestling fan wins in the end.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's kind of cliche-ish, but you're totally right. So let's get to some of your questions. Kevin B., what do you think of the Rock and Roll Express being 80 years old and champions? Well, that makes Ricky Morton 40 and Robert Gibson 40. So you know what? Putting the belts on them, I think, drew a lot of old school fans over there to see if the Rock and Roll Express are still around. You know, AEW had them in there and all that, and they bring in energy. They bring in incredible energy to the NWA Power show, and I'm glad they're there. What about you, Mac?
I think that they fit that promotion very well, and people who have not seen any of their matches lately, and they're just going, Rock and Roll Express, that can't be any good. They haven't watched a match then, because they do incredible things in that rate, their age.
They can still do it. Gaines Monsoon. Oh, I like that name. Corny, meaning Jim Cornette, in the ring was the best part. He was one of the best parts of NWA. Unfortunately, people these days, and we talked about this a while ago, people these days, I think, are so sensitive due to everything online and the internet. Back in the days, if we had done that line that Cornette came out with in the magazines, I don't think we would have gotten any people that would have been offended. It was a different thought process down at that time. It was a different, there was no internet. People didn't take things, as seriously. Shows like All in the Family were shows people watched and they laughed at jokes. So I'm not saying what he did was right. Definitely not. But I think years and years ago, nobody would have jumped on this. So Stu Bennett, aka Wade Barrett, will be taking his place, and I think he's a very good choice as a broadcaster, but he's not going to be Jim Cornette. Matt?
I think that one of the highlights of the NWA right now is question mark.
You do?
I do. I think that the question mark is actually going to be probably one of the most talked about characters that we're going to hear about the next month or two.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. So if you haven't watched that yet, it's NWA Power, Powerrr, and just do a search on YouTube for it, and you can catch their shows. And if you love those shows, the days of like Georgia Championship Wrestling, this is a total throwback to what those were like. And Nick Aldis, I have to say, is such an impressive champion to carry that National Wrestling Alliance belt.
Nick Aldis, to me, probably single-handedly, along with Cody Rhodes, and I've said this before, brought me back to wrestling again and got me excited because of their feud.
Yes. Now, by the way, I want to, before we get to a few more fan questions here, you are headed to to take a road trip to New York City, and you will be doing an interview that I'm very interested in, and it will be on onewrestlingvideo.com. Tell us what you're going to be doing on one of your special road trips, Mac.
Sure, I appreciate it, Bill. It's going to be a brand new show that I've been putting together. It's called the 30-minute time limit.
I love the name of that show.
And it's a more in-depth kind of look at certain characters and people in wrestling and the wrestling business. And the first guest of that show is Dave LaGreca from Busted Open Radio.
Yeah.
And I'll be going up to New York next week up your way. And I'll be recording and meeting with him at Sirius XM Studios.
Well,
so I'm
great.
looking forward to get a little bit more behind the scenes and who the real Dave LaGreca is.
Yeah, no, and we will look forward to that. All right, Joker Jack, welcome back. I like that. Joker Jack with us here every week. WWE personalizing title belts. It's more about marketing and cashing in on a popular champion or wrestler. Of course. I mean, if you really think about it, they call it the wrestling business. And the word after wrestling is business. And of course, marketing is a very large part of the WWE, marketing their characters. And if you're talking about Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, well, hold on a minute. If you're talking about the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, maybe I should come out with marketing an Apter character. Okay, I love doing that. But yeah, no, of course, it's all about the marketing. Marketing is making it. And I think, as I said, I think it's $6,500 to get one of those made. And if you people would like to set up a GoFundMe for it and get me a belt, I'll go for it. It's coming up for Christmas, Hanukkah, and Kwanzaa, and I celebrate all three. So, all right. Thank you, Joker Jack. Brian V. Hey, Brian. AEW sound got better 20 minutes in. That is true. They did great. D-Bag 0584. Hey, Bill. I hope you're having a good night. I am, because all of you great people are here. Brian V says, mention Wrestle Talk, who does a show like this, copying us here. So Brian has sent me an email. If you remember last week, I had a stand-up character here with a mask on. Well, Wrestle Talk TV had the same thing. They had a stand-up something with a mask on. Mine isn't here this week. It's out on rental, but there's not going to be any war here at all. But stop doing that. If I see this on your show, thumbs up. I'll send people to your show. Okay. Thank you, Brian.
Now, Bill.
Yes.
You did promise the last time we did a show to reveal who was under that mask.
Well, because she is out on rental this week, we'll have to wait until next week at this point. I've got to take the mask off her. Well, yeah, you could see by her curves last week that she was a she. All right, let's say Necessary Evil says, cheese, Bill Apter, you're absolute legend, and we treasure you. Thank you. And I treasure all you people for being here, and my buddy Mac Davis for being here every week. Colonel Quail. I love that name, by the way. Sounds very British. Mr. Apter, have you ever done any non-wrestling interviews, such as political interviews? Okay, I have. Hang on, and these should be pretty handy. I have boxes of these things, old cassette tapes with hundreds of interviews that I've done, not just of wrestlers, but with celebrities. Back in the day, Liberace, it's on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and put in Bill Apter interviews Liberace, it's on there. Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees, I interviewed. Tony Bennett, James Earl Jones. I have hundreds of interviews. I used to do a show in New York where I went to Central Park every Sunday with a cassette recorder and interviewed people on the street there asking them for their gripes. And one day I'm going to put all this stuff up because I think it's really funny. But in terms of politics, it goes way, way back to when I was doing my radio show in the late 60s, early 70s. The only politicians I ever interviewed were Mayor Robert Wagner from New York, Senator Thaler, and Governor Carey. That's it. No, I don't interview politicians. I stay away from politics. I did interview the politician, the WWE president, Jack Tunney. Does that count? What do you think? But no, I stay away from politics, even in wrestling. I do that. But yeah, that's interesting. I might come out eventually with something. By the way, many of you have asked me this. So I'm going to give you the answer today. The answer is either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. The Apter Chat pack, where you can get my book. Is Wrestling Fixed? I didn't know it was broken. Thank you. Personally autographed to you, along with a collectible Apter Chat DVD, along with a classic magazine from my collection. Now, this doesn't represent the magazine you'll get. It could be this one. It could be, well, look at, wait till you see this one. And somebody lucky is going to get this one. When I was working for Wow magazine, you see that? This is the,
wow.
But this is the Spanish edition. The whole magazine is written in Spanish. So somebody will get this too. So here's what I'm going to tell you people you need to do. The only way to get it at the beginning with maybe Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and to get it mailed fairly quickly will be you have to download Venmo on your phone. That's so you can pay through Venmo. And what you'll do is when I let you know what the price is, you pay through Venmo, make sure you put down your mailing address and who you would like it autographed to, and I will personalize it for you. It's going to be with mailing. It will be a $40 package or maybe $39.99. If you can't afford the $40, send me $39.99. But that will include, again, a collectible magazine, autographed, a DVD signed, and the biggie, my book. And you will get it personalized to you, but make sure you look out on Facebook and my Twitter feed. Probably start doing this Friday night or Saturday, and I'll fill the orders pretty quickly. Right now I have 30 copies of my book on hand. So the first 30 people should get their books. If you order it this weekend, should get your books by the end of next week, probably. I do have these postal mailers all ready to send to you. Now, regarding international orders, probably the following week, I'll be able to start filling international orders. And of course, they'll cost a bit more. And for you people who don't have Venmo, I'm working out a deal with my buddy Bud Carson to be able to do a credit card. But that, again, will probably be sometime the following week. The Venmo stuff will happen first. It'll be the Apter Chat pack. So look out on my Facebook and my Twitter for that as well. All right, let's get back to your questions.
I just want to say something real quick, Bill.
Yes, please.
That package that you're doing at $40, just the signed magazine from you is worth that price.
Thank you.
It's an incredible package. And if anybody's not sure if that's a great Christmas gift for someone, I'm a wrestling fan. It's a great Christmas gift for a wrestling fan.
Well, it's also a great Kwanzaa gift and Hanukkah gift as well.
It's a gift for anybody.
I just want to get it. It's a great holiday gift. It's even a great gift to give somebody at a New Year's Eve party when all the bubbly comes out. You can have a glass of. Do I have a glass of bubbly here? I don't drink liquor, but I thought there was a glass here. Oh well. But you can toast with your books Yeah, so look out for the Apter chat pack. It will be coming soon. Thank you very much, Mac, for saying that. Titeris Weatherby, they don't you think they should have done some sound testing? Yes, absolutely. As I said before,
Well, they did do sound testing. They did it in the first
during the show,
10 minutes of the show.
right? But as I said, okay, Necessary Evil. Bill Apter deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate. I don't think it'll ever happen, because there's no category for what I do. What category would they put
I
me
don't
in?
buy that. I've seen too many names go into that Hall of Fame that have no connection to wrestling other than maybe appearing in one match one time, and you gave your life to the sport. You deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, thank you. What category would you put me in, though, if it's an existing category?
Well, what would you put people like Mean Gene in? I mean, they weren't in any particular kind of category.
That's true. All right, well, I'll take it if it comes. It would be my honor. And by the way, tomorrow, Eastern Time, on December 5th, 2019, I am planning to go to the final day of the premiere of the new Bruno Sammartino documentary at Cinema Village in Greenwich Village in Manhattan on 12th Street. So if any of you are want to hang out for a little while, I will be there with my dear friend who I've known since third grade. You ready for his name? It's a real name. His name is It's a real name. His name is Myron Schrenkel. That's his name. So Uncle Myron Schrenkel and I will be at the Bruno movie at 1:00 during the day, Eastern Time, taking the day off to go see that. So would love to hang out with some of you. We might go have some pizza afterwards or whatever. Let me see. DCXVI 13. Hold on while I get a pop-up here. Will you be doing any more Apter Chat live sessions every Wednesday? Yes, every Wednesday. We will be here every Wednesday. Not on Christmas Eve, if Christmas is on Thursday. Brian V, have I ever interviewed Mario Lopez? I have not. Joker Jack, Morrow is the best announcer WWE has got right now. You know, a lot of people, you heard that John Morrison has signed a multi-year deal with them. I think he'd be a good broadcaster as well as a ring talent, because I've heard him on the mic before. But a lot of people like Samoa Joe as well. And I know, Mac, you're a fan of this.
He's now in a more permanent position, and the guy that was in that position is now gone. He's back at Performance Center.
Yes. I don't think he really fit that position. Just my feeling. I don't think he had that zest that you need to be on that broadcast team. I think Mauro Ranallo, is he the best broadcaster in WWE? He's one of the most exciting. I think he's fabulous. I'm going to get a lot of boo when I say this. I like Michael Cole. I don't have a problem with him. What about you, man?
I'm different than you because I prefer Ranallo and I like Excalibur. And they're
I do too.
More in style.
Yeah, why do they knock Excalibur so much? I think he's really good.
I do too. I think, if anything, he's the closest thing they have to Ranallo. And it gives it that excitement that I like to hear. Somebody who seems like you're so into it, it draws you in because they're into it.
Yes. Well, Mauro has that great, that real excitement there, and it's just he's incredible. But all the fans that put Michael Cole down, beside being a broadcaster, he produces so much of the shows, etc. So yeah. All right, Brian. Hulk Hogan is in the latest edition of ABC Soaps In Depth with Mario Lopez and his kids. Okay, that's cool. All right, Ruben 4749. Now, Ruben, Rubin, that's my mother's maiden name. So Vince has a near monopoly, which makes people think he is smarter than he actually is. Who gives a beep? What Vince thinks? Question mark. Not me. Okay, you have stated your case there. Zach, AEW needs more polishing for TV, I think. I think they were more polished the first few weeks. Does that make sense?
Now, I'm glad you said that, Bill. I thought the first show, and I'm going to say this around the entire show. I thought the lighting was different in the first show. The sound was different in the first show. There were some differences in that first show that it seems like the quality of the production has gone backwards. Not the wrestling, but the production values seem to have gone backwards.
Okay. All right. That is noted. Ruben says, love Leva Bates. Yeah, she got killed tonight, though, unfortunately. Nelson Toitali, I hope I pronounced that right. Love your shows, Bill. Aloha from Hawaii. Oh, aloha to you. So, did I ever tell you the problem that I had about pronouncing whether it's Hawaii or Hawaii? I ever tell you about that, Mac? So, when I was in Hawaii back in the day with King Curtis and Don Morocco, brother, and Superfly Snuka, I didn't know if it was pronounced Hawaii or Hawaii. So, I went down to the beach and I saw this ancient-looking man sitting on a beach chair, and you could tell he had the wisdom of the islands in his eyes. And I said, "Are you a native here?" He said, "Yes. What can I answer for you? You're a tourist?" I said, "No, here on business." And I said, "I've always wanted to know: is it pronounced Hawaii or Hawaii?" And he looked at me and he says, "My son, it is Hawaii." I said, "Thank you very much." He said, "You're welcome." It's a terrible joke, and I had to tell it. I know it doesn't deserve a laugh, but thank you, and I appreciate you watching here from Hawaii. One of my favorite trips in the whole world was 2 or 3 times going for Hawaii Championship Wrestling, where I was the commissioner, and I love the tourist songs. Jimmy Snuka, ages ago, had a friend who was in a Hawaiian show. There were hundreds of people there, and they had to bring some guy up to put into a hula costume. And who did they pick? Yeah, I was a pretty hot hula girl there for a couple of minutes. All right, but thank you so much, Johnny Dunlop. This Lana, Lashley, and Rusev storyline on Raw is pure trash and needs to be over. It's storylines like this that push viewers away. A lot of people like it. I think Lana looks. Is she wearing a short skirt, or are her legs just that long? I mean, really.
The other night, I wasn't sure she's going to stay all in place.
Oh, I know that. I mean, her top, I thought, was going to fall out.
Yeah.
There, yeah. Well, this is stuff that is part of the way they used to dress in the Attitude Era. So if they're looking to go back to the Attitude Era, that's a hell of a start, isn't it? But yeah, the whole Rusev, Lashley, Lana thing, I think it's been going on a little too long. But they're still, well, the way Lana looked, I hate to say they're milking it, but that's what they're doing. AEW brings back memories, Nelson from Hawaii says, of old school wrestling, missing that feeling again. It does at times, definitely. Joker Jack, I have given up on Raw and SmackDown. Try some NXT. Ruben, anyone know what happened to La Rosa Negra? I loved her matches, and you never see her anymore. No, let's send our spies out to find out. HARMARSCH 2. This week marks 1 year we lost 2 legends of the ring, Tommy Billington from the British Bulldogs and Larry the Axe Hennig. Yeah, I did not know Tommy Billington very well, but I met him and he was always super polite to me. Larry the Axe Hennig, had a great relationship for. As serious as he was in the ring, he was quite the joker. he was a funny guy. He loved to tell jokes. And I remember the last time I saw him a few years ago at the Cauliflower Alley Club, and this is many years after his son Kurt Hennig died. I told him the story, and it's in my book, about how I introduced Kurt to how Kurt got me to meet country music star George Strait. So again, you want to get that After Chat pack, or if you have my book, take a read of that story. But no, Larry Hennig was amazing, and both of them I hope are resting in peace. Joker Jack said they should be two Hall of Famers. Yeah, definitely. Legendary Tarver, greetings all. Internet in 1998 to 2007 was the best era of the web. Everybody was cool then and made jokes. That's very interesting. Yeah, because like we were saying, you can't say things right now, even online. People will get you thrown off Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah. Joker Jack, I was thinking about who should have been Corny's replacement. I think Kevin Sullivan would have been good. Yeah, that's an excellent pick. Kevin Sullivan, I think, would have been very good also. He would have been on the edge as well in a good way. Johnny Dunlop, Bill just watched your video entitled Wrestling Stuff, and maybe an idea for a fortnightly video where you review and plug various wrestling gimmicks, new wrestlers, and books, etc. Yeah, we're going to incorporate that onto this Wednesday show. We're going to be bringing books in and new gimmicks and stuff like that. Hurricane Run of Funk. Hey, Bill, do you think Juggalo Championship Wrestling will have a comeback? I don't know. Mac, I don't know if you know this. A lot of people out there know that I'm a Juggalo.
You're a Juggalo?
I'm a Juggalo. I went to the Gathering many years ago. They brought me in. I did some backstage interviews with Terry Funk and several other people, and they had a Juggalo jersey made for me. And actually, my alter ego, Insane Bill Mascolo, the first part of his name is built on the Juggalo Championship Wrestling. I don't know. I'd like to see them come back. Why not? They were underneath the paint and everything. I really liked those guys. Was not my kind of music. No, I'm a.
But hey, that's really cool that you got that though.
Yeah, but that's not my kind of music. Hold on a minute. I've got some CDs sitting here. I was cleaning out my CD collection, so my kind of music, some of it. Neil McCoy, he's a country music singer, but this was a blues album that he made. This one, this is a collector's item. Can you see that? Jerry Lewis. Hi, Jerry Lewis sings. It's not too good.
Yeah.
No, it's a pretty good album. This one I haven't heard in years, and you're all going to go, you listen to that? Barbra Streisand. Yeah. Love her. Hold on. Here's another one of my sweethearts.
You don't have any Eagles or Doobie Brothers?
No.
Hatchet?
No. My groups, I like the Ramones. I knew all of them. Gabba Gabba Hey. I was a Bee Gees guy. Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine. Eagles. I'll tell you a stupid story about the Eagles next time, but here's another one of my sweethearts. I loved Olivia Newton-John. Absolutely adored her.
I'll give you a little inside story. In my radio years, I was on the hosting a talk show, not a talk show, it was a No Request Oldies show.
Really?
And while that show was going on, I was doing an invitation of Wolfman Jack.
Oh, I remember.
And the next thing I knew, I was playing the show with Wolfman Jack because he was cutting through Savannah at that point and came to the studios and we did a show together. Probably one of the highlights of my radio career.
Wow. Yeah, he was great. Okay, so now the last CD that I'll grab right now that you'll all go, ugh, but maybe some of you won't. Big Barry Manilow fan. Okay, well, back to your. Let me ask you this, and if any of you fans want to chime in, if you're on a desert island, and you could take 2 CDs or records or downloads with you, what would those two CDs be? Do you have an answer, Mac? At least one of them?
Wow.
Yeah.
Music.
What would it be?
Just music?
Yes. No, it could be music or comedy, all right?
Wow.
All right, well, think about it toward the end of the show. Let me know. Right? You fans can chime in, of course. Little did we know we'd be talking about this stuff. Hurricane runner Frank. Hey, Bill, do you think Juggle? Oh, well, we just answered that. The man, megapill.com. Galen Long, good evening, Mr. Apter. Good evening. Much respect that you are the Dean of Wrestling Journalists. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. You know, much more than anything I wrote, I was out there shooting pictures that you saw on the covers of the magazines and the insides. But I get goosebumps when people say something like what you just wrote to me. Thank you. Gaines Monsoon, fake news. I don't know what you're talking about, but Matt Vermillion, was I the only one disappointed in the end of Phoenix Daniels? No, I was kind of disappointed. What about you, Mac? Did you see the Phoenix Daniels match?
I did see, and I'll hold judgment back.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if Christopher Daniels, and he's a veteran, actually missed that spot off the rope there, or what happened there, or if that was done on purpose.
Based on the time that it took for him to kind of fix that spot, I think he missed it.
Yeah, I think so too. Pentagon Daniels, that's right. Okay. Dean Smith, what's the topic, little homie? You call Dean Smith is calling me little homie. Like, what's the topic? Like, why haven't you been watching what the topic is? We're talking about wrestling, AEW, NXT, WWE, NWA. Okay, that's enough of that. Local celebrities on tapes. Yeah, we're talking about that too. Dean Smith wants to know if I'm American. Yes, I'm American, born and bred, born in the Bronx, grew up in Maspeth, Queens, and then moved out to Long Island, and now I'm in the Philadelphia burbs. All right, Sports Fan 316. I tried looking for the Liberace interview. I cannot find it for some reason. It's there. Go to YouTube, put in Bill Apter interviews Liberace. It is there. Dean Smith. This ain't even live. Are we dead, Mac?
If it's not live, then I should be in bed.
Dean Smith is giving me a dislike. He's heading out. I'm sorry. Not everybody's going to like. Harmscure says, Dean Smith, it is live, and we are in living color. All right, hang on. Tom, Theodorus Weatherby, you have to post those interviews. I will. I may come out with a commercial download site of all those things. Sportsfan 316, not to mention the WWE Hall of Fame, doesn't really have a place, visitation, or physical property. It's more designed to bring in money, WrestleMania weekend, to be proud of the physical places. So if you read my book, you will see that the WWE was not only looking for several physical places, one of them was going to be in Las Vegas at the old Debbie Reynolds Hotel. But I was offered the job of possibly being the curator of their Hall of Fame. Yeah, so I think eventually they will have that Hall of Fame somewhere near the Performance Center. Morrow leads Biggie J21. Morrow needs to lay off the bubbly. I don't think he's on the bubbly. Nobody takes Vince yelling like Cole. Okay, whatever that means. Galen Long.
He's probably talking about how Vince was yelling their ears during broadcast.
Yeah, but they do that on a lot of TV shows. So Galen Long, Michael Cole is boring to me. Graves is absolutely horrific. I like Michael Cole. I like Corey Graves. But again, all these people that bury Michael Cole, I don't see it. Necessary Evil, Bill. You are the best wrestling photographer of all time and deserve a Hall of Fame ring. Well, thank you very much. But I also must give credit when we're talking about wrestling photography to the guy a lot of people think is me, and they think he's me, and they think I'm him, is George Napolitano. Yeah, George Napolitano is an incredible photographer. He's now a paparazzi and wrestling photographer. He takes pictures for Pro Wrestling Illustrated as well for that company. And no, George is magnificent. If I went in as a photographer, they need to put him in as well. And then there was some little wimpy guy who was a photographer that we couldn't stand being around the ring because he used to elbow us all out of the way. This guy named Paul Heyman. I wonder whatever became of him. What do you think, Matt?
I don't know. I've never heard of the name. I feel it was a guy I wasn't probably dangerously, but it was the same guy.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the same guy. Mike Tyson's Lisp. What a great name. Hey, Bill, did you happen to know Pretty Boy Larry Sharp? He was my close friend's uncle over here in New Jersey. Rest in peace. I knew Larry Sharp very, very, very well. I was actually, when Larry teamed up with Buddy Rogers to open the Monster Factory. Those two created the Monster Factory. I was there on when they were setting up that building, that hangar at an old airport that became the Monster Factory. And now Danny Cage owns it, and he does a fabulous job with it. But yeah, I knew Larry very well. He was a very good friend of mine. I traveled many road trips with him, and he was a very very nice guy. Gaines Monsoon says best ICP song, IBFN. Best Barry Manilow song was a thing called Bring On Tomorrow. It's about 4 or 5 years ago.
I thought you were about to say Barry Manilow saying IBF.
No, that would be interesting, right? I can rap Barry Manilow songs. You didn't know this. Watch this. Yo, her name was Lola. She was a showgirl at the Copacabana, the hottest spot north of Havana. See, you didn't know? You people didn't know that. Yes, I do have rap videos. Go to Bill Apter Raps Moon River on YouTube. Galen Long, Johnny Cash.
Okay, now you asked me about a musical.
Well, wait, hold on. Galen Long just chimed in. Says he would take Johnny Cash and Leonard Skinner. Joker Jack says I would take some George Carlin and some Kiss. On YouTube, put in Bill Apter interviews George Carlin. There's an interview I did with him in the early 70s on YouTube. So you now have come up with your Desert Island discs. What are they, Mac?
I've got one, and I know I gotta have. This is my favorite. It'd be Bob Seger.
Oh, yeah. Which one?
After that one, I'm just not sure.
But it would be a Bob Seger album. Okay. Yeah. Again, before we leave in a few more minutes, Desert Island discs. If you could only take 2 albums stranded on a desert island, what would they be? It could be music or comedy. Next week, we'll talk about if you could bring a DVR and you had 2 wrestling matches you could watch from any period of time, what would it be? Don't tell me now. Next week, we'll do Desert Island Wrestling. Okay, Mac?
Sounds good to me.
And we're going to publicize that during the week. Biggie 21, Bill, did y'all ban Heyman from taking pictures ringside after he cut in front of us? No, we couldn't ban anybody. We tried to get him out of there, but it just didn't work because he was Paul Heyman, and they liked the Grand Wizard, Captain Lou Albano, and Fred Blassie adored him. So yeah, Biggie 21, Grandmaster Apter, Joker Jack. 2 matches. Oh Lord, that would be hard. Well, you have a whole week to think about it. All right. So we're going to wrap this up with this week. I think NXT is going to have won the WWW Wednesday Wrestling Wars. I give them a 9 for this week. I give a 7 to AEW. Mac, you did not see NXT. I know that, and you gave AEW a 7 as well. Correct?
That's correct. It was 7 as well. It was a good show.
Okay. All right. And we're going to try and get in touch with them about these sound problems, and they're probably aware of it. So there's probably some guy with a cable that needs to just plug it together. So before we leave, also,
I think what they really need, Bill, is they need a new sound guy.
yes, and so do I. Anyway, and don't forget the After Chat pack will be coming. I'll be making the announcement on my Facebook and Twitter page, and on Mac Dave. By the way, Mac, where can people follow you on Twitter?
You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Mad Mac Davis. And that new show, the 30-minute time limit, kicks off in January.
Okay, that'll be great, and that will be on One Wrestling Video. And don't forget the After Chat pack for $40 or $39.99. You have to download Venmo to get this. And the information will be forthcoming this weekend. You will get the After Chat special DVD. It's about a 15-minute DVD about the best of the After Chat, and a lot of wrestlers plugging my book. You will also get my book personalized right on the front page. And make sure you when you submit your money to Venmo, make sure you put your name and address and who you would like it personalized to, like right over here. And if there's anything special you'd like me to write, and you will get a collectible wrestling magazine from my personal collection. You might get this one. This is the Latin American edition of Wow. So the magazine that you'll get from my personal collection might be a PWI, might be The Wrestler, might be Inside Wrestling. It might be a wrestling magazine, Total Wrestling magazine from England. It might be Tutto Wrestling, a wrestling magazine I did for Italy. So I don't know. It's whatever I pull out of the little box of magazines, the big box of magazines. So it's a crapshoot.
Let me ask you, Bill, what's the name of the book?
It's that question: is wrestling fixed?
Oh, I didn't know it was broken.
Well, it's not. It's not. That's the big. Just joking aside, right now is. Wait a minute. Hobbs Horror. Sorry, new to the channel. What are we doing here, my bad guys? We're getting ready to leave. So Hobbs Horror next Wednesday at 10:30 Eastern Time. Come on back and bring with you your choice. If you had a DVR or a VCR or another recording device, and you could bring 2 matches to you in anywhere in history on a desert island, what would those matches be? Okay? And we'll also bring up some more music stuff. It seems like you like it, of Desert Island discs. What 2 discs would you bring if you had a CD player and you were stranded on a desert island? All right. So, Mac, thank you again for joining us this week.
It was good to be here. And Bill, I will talk to you tomorrow.
We will talk tomorrow. And don't forget, tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I will be at Cinema Village in New York City on 12th Street down in the Village, along with my oldest friend in the world, Myron Schrenkel. That's his name. And we're going to go see the Bruno Sammartino documentary there. So you're welcome to join us, and we might go have some pizza afterwards. I love doing that after doing anything wrestling-wise. For everyone here at Apter's Alley, I'm going to be hitting the end stream button here. By the way, if you're looking at my shirt, my son Brandon works at Kennesaw State University, and I want you to see the shirt. I'm proud that he works there. And isn't that a cool logo? Mac, you're in Georgia, so you're familiar with that.
I'm very familiar with that.
Yes. So, Brandon, if you're watching, I did plug it. Joker Jack, thank you for another great show, Mr. Apter and Mr. Mac. I should just call me Cheese. We should make it mac and cheese, but I'm not going to do that. All right. Anyway, I'm going to hit the end stream button. It's great to have you all down at Apter's Alley again. We'll see you. What's the rest of it, Mac?
the matches.
Yeah, we sure will.